All right, let's try this. Getting the live stream going. How's the audio? Oh, sounds pretty good. All right. Let's get this going then. I will pop out the chat in case anyone is watching on chat. Chat. Probably can see from the front-facing camera. Chat right here. OBS over there. Let's just check camera switching. Awesome. Just double checking. Yeah, everything's coming through the mic. All right, let me post this on Twitter. Forgot to do that. Twitter. All right. Let's tweets out. Getting a couple more views. All right. Well, assuming everything's working, I'll get going. All right. Welcome back to the live stream. If you're new to this channel, and as well as just popping the live stream because you saw it somewhere, welcome. I am working on a 3D printer, which you can see back here. It's a project I started last year based on my original Duplicator i3, using upgraded frames and some better design based off of and inspired by the Prusa Mark III. I'm trying to be a compromise between low-cost upgrades, but as close to a Prusa as you can get. Anyway, stopped doing it in the beginning of the year because of world pandemic reasons. But I decided I'd use this live stream as a way to force myself to get some progress going. In the last stream, I built most of the frame. Let me pull up the instructions off camera. The project has a decent wiki, a couple changes. There's a bunch of new parts since I made it that have fixed issues, but c'est la vie. And I ran into some spacing issues. Did some work off camera just as I was tinkering around. I'll show what those changes are in a minute, but the idea is to continue to make progress. So I'm on step 7 of the ReDuplicator, which is completing the Z-tower, which is mostly done. And we'll switch over to a closer look. All right. If anybody's in the chat, feel free to say hi. All right, so let me just make sure I'm going to do some handwork here. So before, the threaded rods were hitting the top, so I basically moved the motor mounts, the Z-tower motor mounts, down just a smidge. So there's a little bit of clearance, not too much. This motor's a little bit stiff now, and I'm wondering if there's something I did to make it stiff. It shouldn't be, unless this spacer is not quite right. So that's my only concern, potential thing I could try to fix. But regardless, I got those pieces in. We now can go all the way down, which is great, and spin freely. I started messing around with the belt, which will be the next project to get through, and then finish up the Z-Tower from there. So maybe I'll put this here or somewhere more convenient. Sorry for the... because the above head camera is a little bit, yeah, not a great angle to get front-facing shots. So what I can do is show you. I'll put the camera to the right. Now, this particular design for the motor, for the hot end mount, takes the same approach as Prusa. You can kind of see there's little teeth. Little teeth at the top of this groove. It's a really nice way to hold the belt. Unfortunately, the tolerances are pretty tight. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe do a little bit of file work. I don't know if I have a file that small, but we can try. So what I did off camera was try to force fit this this end, and you can't really make it out, but it's not in all the way. It's sort of sticking out. Right, that should be all the way through. There's about half the distance it's able to feed its way in. So what do I have that's needle-like? Well, so I have these jeweler files, sort of standard. They probably are too big. Yeah, it's only going about a third of the way in, and 2/3 of the way in. Do you have needles somewhere? Like, oh, for sewing and safety kits. I also have small drill bits that I might try. Yeah, let's see what. I'll save those. Those are. Yeah, what I was thinking is something along these lines. I have a whole other set of metric small drill bits, but this could be sufficient. This is quite, it's kind of an expensive kit, but it's really hard to store and manage with it. I mean, it is working. What I would love to do is be able to drill it somehow. I have a Dremel with a collet. Pain in the ass. Pain in the whatever censorship allows me to say. But it's the right move. If I go to the very edge, you can see this size is about the right diameter. All right, let's see if I can do a little. Oh, I might have a jeweler's Dremel. 1 second. Sorry, I wasn't really prepared to figure stuff out so soon. Can't really see. I'm scaling the side of my desk. We have a small jeweler's kit. Cool stuff. Switch cameras. this is charged. Cool. I just gotta find the cullet. A good sized cullet. My wife's stuff. Don't know where everything is. This is gonna be too big. Ooh. Let's try the overhead camera for some of this. Still too big. Hopefully she has a smaller cullet. These tiny cullets are kind of finicky to work with, but it's the right tool for the job. Oh wait, she has a fine drill bit. Ooh, that's easy to work with. That might be the ticket. This is a larger shaft. I don't know if you can see it, but compare the two significantly, right? That'll fit into a standard collet. Nice and convenient. So let's see. Oop, not you, but yeah. Can't be a good Dremel. Brand Dremel. So different size collets means you can work with different size shafts, shanks. Okay. Perfect. Let's move this out of the way. Hopefully this is fully charged. Be annoying if it isn't. All right, let's switch to the front camera again. Let's see if I can find a better angle for this. We'll try it. Just on low speed. It's looser. We'll get the span out of the way. All right. Let's see if that made any difference. I don't know. This is quite fiddly. I don't think this is a good angle either. Well, I think that made some bit of difference. Definitely helped. How do I push this in more easily? How do I get the focus to work? Ah. Let's try to pull this. I think I didn't say enough, but you're kind of holding. It's not nearly far enough in. See that gap? That's the problem. Well, let's do another pass. Doesn't cost anything. I want to take an X-Acto. Try to just like push my way through. All right. Let's try this again. Yeah. Just kind of make my way through this. It's better. Trying to figure out what's the best way to, use maybe an Allen key with the right size diameter. I want to get more even pressure. You know what? Let's stick with this. I know it's not the right, it's not exactly in the right spot. But what I want to do is start cutting this. All right. There's all the excess. Not quite enough to do another round, but let's start feeding this through. Before I do that, let me try to do Exacto again. Yeah, there's literally no place that makes this easy to see. Okay, this is way too long. Might be just come on. These are not that sharp. Okay. Let's try getting this fairly far in. We got the other one. I mean, it's pretty good. Might even be too tight. But what's with these these types of belts. This is some cheapo G2T style belt. It's not an official belt from whoever makes the industry standard belts. They do stretch. They're supposed to stretch, so I'll probably have to readjust this anyway. So this is just to get it good enough to move around, which it does feel pretty good. Get that fan back in its place. Okay, the last part of the Z tower is the tensioner. This is one of those things that actually has been upgraded since I printed it. Actually, the entire x-axis has been upgraded, but we're going with what they have now, which essentially screw in the M3 on top. Oh, here it is. Install an M3NS, so like a thin M3 nut to the gantry. I think it's over here. And lightly install a 20mm M3 in the hole on the top. Okay, let's grab our hardware. Get back in there. Okay. 3 nuts. 3 washers. So lock nuts. I'm not sure where most of the stuff is. 5/16. Okay. Currently not what we're looking for. Let's keep going through my supply of hardware. That's probably M3, but I need an M3 nut. Let's scale. I mean, to show you what I mean by scale, I have to climb up. Come on, tripod. Well, up there is typically where most of my hardware lives. So I will cut back so you don't see me flail around. A bunch of these random boxes. They're mostly the same, to be honest. A big project I did a couple years ago. Okay. See, the question is, what is the thickness of an M3NS nut? And will it fit into the tensioner? It's got to be right here, I think. So screw goes in, pushes down on the tensioner. Honestly, I could just tighten the nuts without that tensioner there. They're all kind of the same. So M2s. Where's my M3 nuts? Guessing these are M3s. That kind of looks like it could fit, but just barely. You know, we're going to skip the tensioner for now. Got to reprint the part anyway. Belt's got to stretch, things like that. So what I'm going to do instead is just kind of like hand tension this. And continue to make forward progress. Well, that's not a good sound. I think I have to rebuild this. Nah. Or the goal is to keep on moving forward. I mean, okay, it's a frame. Things can kind of move up and down. But I'm going to call section 7 done. Excellent, 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 excellent. This is exciting. So let's talk about the y-axis. So with this design, there's different versions of this. Let me step back and raise the camera. So there's a couple of versions in the ReDuplicator repo. This is the stock version. There's another design which is kind of nice. It uses the heated bed from Prusa, which require a little bit longer extrusion, different rails. I just wanted to keep as much stock as possible. So it's similar, just different parts. In the meantime, we need to take some more of the pieces that I've been keeping on the original frame and take that apart. So I'll continue my salvage expedition on that Prusa, and we'll see what that's like. Oh, this is a very sturdy frame. It's quite heavy. I also bought some upgrades that we'll see in the process. That is not, well, part of the final ReDuplicator that Omnamagon made is not in the instructions. So we'll see what that's like to put together. And this will be probably one of the last disassemblies. Let's see. I already noticed I'm missing some parts. which is all good. It's all good. Specifically the springs. But for now, we will take off the heated bed. The heated bed is attached to the control board. Gonna start tearing this down. I need to make sure I keep track of some parts. I already lost the springs, which is cool. I should get new ones anyway. Apologize for it. This thing is kind of massive. Okay, so I don't want to do this. Get the power cord out of the way. I think I might take the rods off first. There's some screws on the frame, and then the actual little set screws on the rods. I actually am going to remove this, but we'll get to that in a minute. So my bed was never really level. I'm not quite sure why. It could be the heating element, which is glued to the aluminum bed. I'm going to be testing that. I use glass with some, you can kind of see, thermal pads. So borosilicate glass is nice because it is generally flat. It's because of the way glass is manufactured. It's also very heat resistant, so you don't have to worry about cracking. So that should be generally flat and even. And by using these silicon pads, these little glued things here, sort of allows the glass to float and deal with the curvature better. That was the theory, at least. It didn't really matter for most of my prints. I did a lot of small stuff on this larger bed, but it always bothered me. Also meant leveling was a royal pain, and I'm hoping that one of my upgrades helps. If not, I spent some money for no good reason, which is okay. Not too expensive, but you'll see that part in a few. So now I can just lift this off, which is nice. Oh yeah. Whoops. I'm going to be reusing some of the parts that we'll see in a moment. The rods are the most important. And the motor. Let me get that. Get the motor mount off as well. I am not saving this frame at all. I'm sure someone could use it, but it's just sheet metal after all. So that's out. While I'm here, I'm going to remove every last electrical component. Yeah, I'm going to remove every last electrical component after I mark off some of the cables. I want to write Y-axis and then tape it over the y-axis connector. It'll just save me from debugging when we have to connect up the motors later. Move the switch over here. These switches are awful, by the way. Limit switches, as a design, are neat. They have a wide variety of invariants of quality, as in different manufacturers make different ones. So that's one place where 3D printer folks love to save money. And they break, and they're actually surprisingly expensive, especially if you're using a higher quality version. One of the upgrades I want to do is the electronics. I don't want to spend a terrible amount of money. And the Prusas and friends use a very nice system. There are motor controllers from a company called Trinamic, and they make a bunch of different ones. But the ones that became popular in the last, call it, year or so, I forgot the exact model number, but what they do is called sensorless homing. Effectively, they allow you to remove the limit switches, and they figure out where the limits are by banging into the edge of the walls and the base plate. It uses current spikes, something along those lines, to do its inference, and it's basically a fast ADC. Come on. This is a little strip, I think, or this is the wrong size bolt. Allen key, whatever. You want to use the ball end. Oh, that's enough. So I have to get this out. There we go. Definitely. I didn't want to buy a replacement switch, so I actually glued this together myself when it cracked, which they'll invariably do. So I'm going to cut the last few zip ties that are holding the wiring together, and then I guess I can set aside the frame. It is no longer serving direct use. All right, where are my tiny wire cutters? Don't cut. Oh, I can cut it from the outside. Excellent. One, two. Like I'm doing a Tootsie Pop commercial. 3. There's another one over here. You're gonna be stubborn, huh? I did some of these add-ons, made wider feet with a little bit of rubber. Can barely see, can't see out of frame, but used threaded rods to create additional support. Camera. There we go. There's 2 more. And you cut. And then the frame is free to go to greener pastures. Something stubborn. I'm gonna have to remove this. Really? I literally just need to throw this away. Yeah. Okay. Now with the wires free, I can get this out of the way. Save some space. Excellent. I don't think I need the wiring for now. It's hard to tell with just a level because the table's not level. It's tough from glass, but anyway, I have future plans for you as well. In the meantime, let's move this out. Okay. Our threaded rods and our instructions. Install the Y carriage blocks into, oh, we have more parts. Y-axis, section 8. Install the box. Visual M4 screws. Oh yeah, that's where these blocks come into play. Now, this is the first upgrade. This is the base plate that the original ReDuplicator used. I tracked this down. This was a small company in, I think, Slovakia that made this plate. It's supposed to be super rigid, but also has cutouts. It's hard to tell if it's lighter, but we'll see. It's definitely more rigid. I mean, it actually looks like almost 3 or 4 thin pieces of aluminum sandwiched between, I don't know, I want to say FR4 or some sort of FR material, but I don't think so. In any case, I'm going to reuse the original blocks. You can 3D print plastic ones that actually be just the same to save a little bit of weight. I didn't do that for the plate. I actually did it for the original hot end carrier. But I did some modifications. I put one, I don't know why I did it this way, LM8UU in here and glued it in. Why did I do that? There's a reason. Anyway, I'll reuse these for sure. And then figure out what else we need to do. I'm going to clean the rods as well since I am here. Space the. Okay. But let's see. Install the white onto the white carriage, replacing the original blocks. This is mandatory. Help with reducing the moving weight. Again, I use a combination of IGUS and Asumi long bearings, as I found they give a good balance of silence and ease of movement. I'm using knockoff bearings. I probably should have bought Asumi bearings when I was buying the extruded aluminum. Never use IGUS. Some people swear by it. Maybe that'll be a future upgrade. as I found them. Okay, if you'd like to secure the bolt even further, 20 mil. I mean, honestly, these things haven't moved. Did not use thread lock at all, so probably fine there. Install the Y carriage belt holder. Oh, I printed replacement parts. Wheel. Probably won't be using them for now. But see, this is the Y carriage holder. We'll get there in a moment. Install the left and right extruder rod holders on front based extrusion. Insert the 380 millimeter Y axis into these rods by around 10 millimeters. Use 12 millimeters M5 on the short end and 16 millimeters M5 on the taller side with T-nuts. I see. Slide the Y-axis end stop to the normal rod holder in the rear. Carriage end stop. The reason why I don't want to swap out, well, it'll be harder for me to swap out because I actually glued this piece in. Let's see if I have any spare linear. That might be sufficient. If I have a spare, I probably have a spare. If I think about it. It's an original. I feel like I have more. Aha! That looks like these will do, huh? I'll make you use. Nice and greasy. And fit quite nicely in there. Does he use O-rings? You know what? Oh, I didn't buy a replacement belt. Let's go ahead and assemble these. With new bearings, why not? You only fully replace your entire 3D printer every so often, right? These are greasy. Alright, let's bang this into submission. Where's my rubber mallet? I think in his layout, one's at the edge. Interesting. Why is that the case? It's got to be something in the Prusa configuration. I remember something. Definitely one is centered. That's about right. Let's do one exactly like the image. Another one exactly like the image. I think. Give myself another Kim wipe. So, is this, what does this say? It's all the, belt holder. All right. Well, in the meantime, we need to do one thing. Is there 2.5? So where's my M5? M3. 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 Quite a bit of M2s because they were leftovers. Oh, I know where. In the meantime, let's see if this fits. Yep. These are M3s. Maybe? This is what happens when you're not organized, friends. And 4 by 25. 2 by 30. Let's see what M3 by 30 is. This one. Nope. Lots of random sizes. One more box to look through. This is probably one I was looking for all along. Aha. Great. You need a very specific fastener, especially small sizes. Can't find on Amazon micro fasteners. That's a good store. And threes, these are standoffs. Standoffs are good for PCBs. 25. Okay. Should be good to go. Let's just check a few things. These are M16s. I think I'm pretty sure they use zip ties for this. See, M2.5s actually fit quite kind of nicely. I had M3s here all the time. Fantastic. Question is what? It fits nicely. Yeah, it's got a little teeth. And oh, how about we just start with this? See if we can get this to mate up. Now, well-designed threads, inner diameter 3D printing holes are amazing because you have enough tolerance to actually screw the thing in, but then you also leave room for the threads to bite onto. Great. Okay. Cooking the fire here now. This thing is not going anywhere. That nut might go. See why? Oh. Well, let's get the same length. The other two. Fascinating. so boring. The problem I have is that drills are too aggressive for 3D printed plastic, and Dremels are also they're very similar. There are all these electric screwdrivers, which are kind of interesting, like the WOW sticks, but I haven't bit the bullet yet. Partially because I don't know which WOW stick to buy. There's like 7. One's branded, and one of them is even branded Xiaomi. I'm not even sure if Xiaomi is the actual OEM. Or did someone just pay them? Xiaomi does a bunch of partnerships that way. Yet Xiaomi has a partnership with Weha. They have Xiaomi branded Weha made, or maybe the other way around, hand screwdrivers. Actually, they're pretty nice. I tried them. I'm going to go on mute for 1 hot second. All right, let's remove these nuts. They're falling off. I'm not going to go start thread locking them in or use lock nuts just yet. These are really tight, so I think we're good there. What I'm going to do instead is remove the original screws from the base plate. and transfer them maybe one size bigger. You said M4s. My Allen wrenches with the ball ends. Very handy, but I think they're getting stripped. They're also very inexpensive, low quality. And so they start a screw which has been unused for a long time. Takes a bit of force. And I got to use the non-ball side, which is a little bit straighter lines. Then from there, I can keep you. Oh, that might have been glued to the plate. Yeah, I probably can pry that off, but this is glued in. I really don't need these blocks. Move to the side for now. All right, now to use my new rigid plate. If we look at it from the other underside, I am very much hoping that this is the right dimensions. I might upgrade this later. Doesn't have a lot of teeth. I don't know. So far, so good. Wonder if all of them will be as rigid as this one. Mm-hmm. Okay, those two are in. A lot of first things you upgrade on many of the low-end 3D printers, especially the ones that are, Prusa i3 style, is to replace the metal blocks, those aluminum metal blocks, with 3D printed ones. And honestly, it's easy, something you can do. I don't know how much it saves. It's supposed to lighten up the base plate and therefore allow you to move faster. Less mass means more acceleration. It's pretty close to the heated bed, but I don't know. I guess it's not a problem for most designs. But this is PTG, so I am absolutely not worried. Let's see how this is supposed to go. So if we're looking at the bottom, so I guess I could put... I don't think this will work unless we try a smaller spacing. This piece is going to have a lot of forces on it, so I may want to change just looking at what pieces I have left to install. This feels like interesting. I might be missing a piece. That's complicated. You know what? I think this might be a good place to stop and get back to you when I figure out what else is missing. Anyway, let me switch back. Thanks again for watching, if you're watching it live or in the playback. If you are building a ReDuplicator, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, see you next time. Cheers.